Last song is called Mob Mentality. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
So we are coming from two different magazines. I'm coming from TheBlackplanet.org. It's a Portuguese-based magazine that covers lots of events in Portugal and abroad. And Tini here is coming from Underground.
Underground in Germany.
German magazine. So if you could start introducing yourselves.
My name is Ben, and I play drums in the band Earthside.
I'm Jamie. I play guitar in the band Earthside.
Together we are one half of the band Earthside.
The better half, I'd say.
That's good. So how would you describe your quite early band or young band?
Like the group we were before Earthside?
I think you're asking because you know that this is our debut album. Is that what you're
Yes.
wondering? Well, so that's the thing. It's deceiving. So 3 out of the 4 of us, Ben, and then our keyboardist Frank, who's off screen over yonder, and I, the 3 of us have actually known each other for a long time, and we're in a previous band together and sort of developed that musical chemistry together, and yeah, I think have played a large role in each other's development as far as our tastes, being driven to improve ourselves, explore new territory musically. That band was all instrumental, which therefore there's still elements of you know that band's lineage in our own. And then, you know, since then, we've grown quite comfortable with. Let's put this on vibrate, shall we? We've grown quite comfortable, you know, composing music that's all instrumental. But we also enjoy, you know, being able to write songs, having the freedom to write songs with vocals as well. So, but none of us are the singer we wanted, so that ties into what we talked about yesterday with, yeah, having guest vocalists of our choosing whenever we so desire.
Are you still happy? Let's go back to that question from yesterday. You can repeat the answer.
Want to repeat it again?
Yes.
Just so we have the same background?
Yeah, and the official.
Yeah. So yeah, yesterday we were asked at our show in Den Bosch, you know, why the screen, and why not either have a full-time singer in our band
Or invited speakers.
or why not have a singer who just appears live, which actually you were a proponent of doing it that way, and we may do it at some point, have a singer who appears live. My explanation in a much more, you know, condensed version from yesterday is, as far as why I got the singers on the record, we wrote the songs first, and we wanted, each of those songs had very different vocals that, you know, that whether it was different emotions that needed to be expressed, different registers, so there wouldn't be one singer who was the right fit to fulfill our vision for each of those songs. And for the same reasons, then having one live vocalist would be tricky, but live it's a little less dissected. So the other reason is so that somebody who sees our show and has never heard of us because we're still an up-and-coming band, that if they were to see us live and see us with that singer, unless they know our story ahead of time, they're going to think that's our lead singer. They're not going to know these singers are on our record. So we felt like this was the most honest way early on to present what we're doing. And it doesn't mean we'll always stick with that, but felt the most consistent. Do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think also we're just such vehement idealists that we always pretty much prioritize the idea above everything else, whether that is a vocal line or getting this crazy ensemble to work with us, or you know, doing like writing a song in a really unusual way. we always look to the idea first, and then we sit down and we say, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to make this happen? And some of that can be pretty tricky. But yeah, we felt that this way was, it kind of tied into our idea of taking a different approach to a live show that isn't just like a standard rock concert. It's something that really envelops the audience and absorbs them into our world, and just feels like a cohesive, moving experience.
And when we headline a show, I mean, there's also more time for us to, show what we have as these interludes between songs. So it ends up kind of feeling, we describe our music as cinematic rock, right? So in English, we, cinema, film. So we view our music as having a film score-like quality. So we want that visual on screen, whether it's the singer or, other components that are more plot-oriented or more mood-oriented. We feel like that adds to that genre description, creating that aesthetic of a band as a cinematic rock band, having some visual component that we're almost there scoring and supporting, that there's kind of a symbiotic relationship between what we're doing musically and the visuals as far as what you should focus on. That said, we're not just statuesque, hidden there. We're bringing the score live,
Sorry to interrupt, but picking up on this, that cinematic, so what do you think is the story in one of your shows? Or do you think there is some story to tell?
I don't think there's any...
or what do you want to transmit?
Yeah, I don't think there's like a plot character setting, like you parse it out in that kind of way, story. I think it's more like if you came back to the album that we did, I'd say it's not a concept album in the traditional sense. It's more of it's an overall mix of feelings and moods that convey a certain kind of inward journey through personal struggles and towards the aspirations that we all have as people to strive for something great, or to find some greater self-knowledge. And it's something that is general enough, I think, that you don't need like the spark notes on the side to say this happens in chapter 1. It's kind of as you're going through it, and you're feeling those experiences, and you're feeling the different moods and atmospheres of each track. And I think we want to carry that over to the live experience and have those kinds of soaring highs and those kinds of really kind of going for the gut, or like hit you in the gut, not going for the gut, kind of thuds and kind of peaks and valleys. So I think it's something that each person will experience a little differently, and each song means something particular to each of us, and many of the times we don't even agree on what it means.
And that's especially with instrumentals, there's room for that. It's gonna, it comes when we're playing, it comes from our individual feeling, but it may not be that we feel the same thing.
Yep.
And I think what bends out highs and lows, I think our music covers a breadth of emotions. It's, and talking about that sort of journey of trying to create something very personal, and that there are some euphoric highs in that, and then also just some real heartbreaks where you put yourself out there in a very vulnerable way to express yourself that openly, and sometimes it's very rewarding, and sometimes it's we can't go on any longer, and I think our music really is about our own it is very meta. It is definitely about the experience of what we're going through on a day-to-day basis, trying to do something that means something both to us as individuals, us collectively, that we can feel proud of doing together, and mean something to the people we meet along the way, and hope that it has an impact on their lives as well.
for a debut album, you had really quite a lot of also not quite unfamous people and ensembles working for you. How easy was it to put that together? How did you, as like, fairly unknown band, get people from Sweden and Russia and everywhere together to actually work for your album?
It was a piece of cake.
I was gonna be exactly.
People were just
what I said.
fighting over working with us. Like Devin Townsend, Meshuggah were like, "Sorry, you guys are on the guest list. I mean, on the waiting list. Like,
Waiting.
on the waiting list. Maybe next album, we'll see."
Tool wanted to actually make our album rather than their own album. That's why it's taken them so long. But we said it breaks our hearts to reject your, very kind offer, but we have to say no.
I think it was different for each case. We knew that we wanted to. A big part of this project is collaboration. I think one thing that we kind of agree is kind of an underused asset in rock or progressive or metal music is the idea of collaboration. There's so much competition of like who's in your scene and who are you going up against for this opportunity, and maybe some of that is inevitable, but I don't think it's the right way at all to look at things. I think we are such kind of niche group that if we're not working together and we're not trying to actively collaborate and make the best music we can and do the best we can, then I think we're selling ourselves short, and we're not giving people the best products we possibly can. So I think we really wanted to create a diverse record, and we wanted to have the tools in place to put that forth and work with the exact singers and the exact instrumentation we wanted.
And I think we've seen that rock and metal over the last 10, 15 years, at least in the mainstream, has kind of been on a descent in terms of popularity. And then you see, over the last 20 years, hip hop has just continued to grow and grow. And you see them always featuring on each other's songs and collaborating. It's a community. Sometimes there's rivalries, but within each sort of, camp, there's this community of artists who work together. And I think it's exciting to see what different people and different combinations do together. It's kind of just like different people jamming together. What would this combination of people come up with? Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but it's a fun experiment, and it creates a novel experience that I think is rewarding. And so I think we wanted to bring more of that kind of communal energy into it.
To answer your question directly, though, it was challenging, and I think it involved a lot of persistence, especially kind of proving yourself as an untested industry entity. But I think in each case, we didn't let that keep us from sending the initial email and trying to forge a relationship with these people that we really deeply respected. And I think
Hearing no rejection at all.
Yeah,
got plenty of rejection, but
I think at the end of the day, we were able to find common ground with these different artists and find what made them passionate about a certain song, and kind of zero in on them, work together with them to make something that really worked. And
ultimately, it was somebody we always had to believe in for that song, and they had to love the song and want to do it. So it was about finding that marriage, and then also them availability as far as what their touring lives were like, or what their own bands demanded of them, or their own limitations, their own contracts. In some cases, it might be like, yeah, you can't appear on somebody else's record because, so there were various things we had to either get around or deal with, but it was daunting. But I also think the results make us feel like we feel justified in doing it. So yeah.
So the next album will be similar? Are you seeking a similar, are you going to kind of reuse the same artists, or are you going to, especially now that you have had chance to collaborate with people on the road, are you going to mix it more and match more? And
Well, speaking of the collaboration, I think one thing I was going to say, and the last thing is, you talk about competition, one thing that's great about this tour is, you have three, progressive-oriented bands with Leprous, Voyager, and Earthside, but all three of those bands have a different take on it, so there really is no competition. It's three bands that I think all do what they do really well and are really passionate about what they do, and have a lot of respect for one another. And so I think we view this as an opportunity to hopefully all foster each other's careers and share our fan bases with each other, and each night is we kind of, the only element of competition is, all right, we brought it, now you have to bring it. Oh, these guys are going to be great tonight, so we better be on our game, And I think that's
But that's healthy competition.
yeah, that's what just, everybody wants to give the fans the best show they can. So I think, yeah, it's a good thing. It just, everybody raises their level together, and then we celebrate after.
So are the shows being fine till now? What's your feeling? The tour just started, but
Yeah.
I think it's gone very well overall. I think it can be somewhat of a challenge on the smaller stages. We're all very ambitious with our stage setups. We want, as Jamie said, to give people the best show that we possibly can, and that means kind of adding those other special elements to really make it an engrossing, unique experience. And when you're on a pretty tiny stage and there's a back line, it can get kind of tight, and but for the most part, it looks like the stages are definitely more so in the camp of what we need spatially, and things have gone over very well so far. It's been very well received, and people in Europe bring a lot of passion to the live experience, which is awesome.
so you don't get the same feeling on the Euros?
Well, one thing I was going to say that kind of goes along with that is, it's so surprising, at least to me so far, is we play the city we've never been to in our lives, and there are people singing along to our songs, or people, who clearly know, maybe if it's an instrumental, they know where like the drum accents are, and you're like, you see them air drumming or like air guitar, I'm like, wait, I've never been to this country, and there's all these people that know our songs. And in America, just 5 months ago when we went on tour, there was almost none of that. So I mean, there's the feeling of maybe that's a difference between Europe and America, or a difference between, here we're on a more progressive tour. That was a metal tour with Soulfly and Soilwork, so less fan overlap. Or maybe just things have, risen that much over the last 5 months, because that was right when our album came out, and now, it's been percolating, so people have been able to hear the songs and kind of know them. So, but that was, shocking to me. I mean, I can't help but, even though we're supposed to be fairly serious, I probably smile ear to ear when I see somebody in the audience like know a fill or know the part or know the lyrics, and I'm just like, all right, I gotta be honest, this is kind of a rock star moment, and I'm excited. Like, how cool is that? And so, and I think that's a good thing. I mean, if you had that dream going in, to be able to actually enjoy it, otherwise all the work and the things that were difficult about it, I don't think would be worth it if you can't then, at least in the moment, take it in and be like, this is pretty damn cool.
So the dream is coming true.
It's in progress.
Yeah, it's a long path to it.
And as you'll say, we'll never feel like we've arrived.
That's kind of the closest I've come, meaning behind that song, which is just like, you have the pivotal moments where you feel like you really accomplished something. You're just like, oh man, like I'm there. And then, you get there, and then after a week or two, you're like, oh wow, there's still so much ahead. And it's kind of finding that meaning and being able to live enough in the moment that you're able to derive some satisfaction from those victories and keep propelling yourself forward.
I think that it's a good thing, though. I think it's a positive that feeling of we've arrived is fleeting. That's an ephemeral thing, because otherwise life wouldn't be worth continuing to live. Then you set the bar even higher now, and you're no longer satisfied with what was an accomplishment before. Just maintaining that, now you have something more to shoot for. And so the carrot keeps getting moved further ahead of you as you chase it, and that's good. That's a good thing. But it's sometimes masochistic and torturing at the same time. We can't just enjoy, like, we did it. It's like, great, you did that. Now next thing.
Are you working on the next thing already?
We've started working on it. We have a handful of different song ideas that we've been developing, either kind of in practice together or kind of what we'll call like a home studio practice, where we start to parse out the ideas and figure out what goes where, because we write both as a group and independently. And we're starting to kind of brainstorm like which singers or different instrumentalists we want to work with on the next record. So maybe to come back to your other question a little bit, is I think the next record is going to continue the aesthetic that we really like, the things we really love about music, but kind of present them in a lot of new ways that we didn't go for in the first record.
I meant to come back to that too. That's good. I think the collaborative spirit will still be there. I don't know if it'll be strictly like let's get 4 dude vocalists and an orchestra. I think it'll be. I mean, one thing I regret is I don't think we collaborated with enough women, whether it be in vocal or instrumental realms. I think part of that though was because these men who were singing were kind of extensions of our own voices that we don't have. It was kind of like the voice we wish we had. Maybe that was sort of the gendered aspect to it. But I think it'll be cool to hopefully at some point work with a woman singer and also.
What would, if you could have any, what would you pick? Like
1990, early 90s era Bjork, but I bet modern day Bjork could probably still like kill it. So, but it would have to be a very specific. Because again, the song comes first. We'd have to have written the right song, and then we'd have to have somehow found a way to contact her. And she seemed like she'd be an elusive one. So I don't know. The punctuation, the umlaut on the O, or is it an umlaut or is it a slash? It's an umlaut, right?
I thought it was an A.
Yeah, but just because of that, actually Bjorn was pretty easy to find so maybe it's only 1 letter difference. Maybe we have a shot.
Okay, did you pick him because of the umlaut?
Yes. No, it was a bonus, but he was working actually with one of the producers who was working with us. That was just like the producer who was going to record our album passed the demo along to him, and that sort of got the conversation started. So.
Did he actually sing the song during the common tour with Soilwork?
No, it kind of came together so last minute that he didn't really have an opportunity to rehearse it beforehand and wasn't really comfortable with that. So we weren't able to do that on that run. I think.
Yeah, because he had never gotten to rehearse the song, and we just showed up mid-tour. And also, I think it would, the big reveal. Like everybody in that crowd is there to see Soilwork. If he's already come out an hour before they come on to sing a song with us, then the crowd is not quite as pumped for like, holy shit, it's Soilwork. It's like, yeah, Bjorn, we already saw you, great. Oh, everybody else, great, but you're not the singer, so we don't care about you either. I think that would. I think it would. I can understand why it would not. Even if he maybe even wanted to, I could see his bandmates being like, dude, you're blowing the big reveal, We need the audience to be totally stoked that we just took the stage. So I don't think it would be fair to expect him to sing it when we're on tour with them. And, maybe if we get to do like a one-off festival appearance that they're also at, maybe they're playing a different day on the same festival. I think that would be the shot to do it. And I hope we get to it at some point. That would be great.
I think we might need to run down and sound check like pronto.
But thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us.
And for the rest of the tour.
Thank you so much. And I hope you guys get to enjoy it.
Yeah, finally we can see it today. That's all of us. So fair enough.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
So my answer to this question is, we first of all, like, 3 of the 4 of us have been together as a band since like high school, right? We were in a different band. We played together. We were all instrumental. This is going to be very easy to pay attention to. We were all instrumental, and because we could never find a singer we thought was good enough to like make our sound better, and always made be like detracted, right? Unless you have a really, really great singer, it doesn't necessarily add to it, And we felt like our music was interesting enough instrumental that we didn't need vocals. And half the songs we wrote on the album are instrumental, so the singer would just be sitting there like, so you'd have to come on and just do that. And we like writing instrumental music. Like Beethoven wrote instrumental music. People didn't complain, hey, where's the singer? You need a singer to be a rock band, because if you don't have a singer, then you're not a rock band. It's not a song unless you have a singer. People didn't say that, right? Because people back then were what we call sophisticated and patient, and not like, I need something that I can like quote and put on my Facebook profile to latch onto. Yeah, right. I'm kind of dissing you right now, bro. But I still love you. Okay, so continuing on. So when we wrote songs for this album, we wrote some songs together, all in rehearsal, or instrumentals, and then some songs we wrote individually, sort of separately, that had like vocal ideas we felt really strongly about. Like I wrote a song, the one that we closed with, Mob Mentality with the orchestra, and I wrote it with my voice. I'm not a good enough singer to sing it though, but I had this whole melody and lyrics and everything. I had a message I wanted, and I had a specific set of singers that I thought I needed a voice that could express that, that emotion in that way. But then we wrote another vocal song that's totally different voice, totally different register. The same person who could hit that song well isn't the person who could hit the other song. It's very, like, for instance, A Dream in Static. Daniel Tompkins has a voice that's like it might as well be a soprano, right? But Lejean has this sort of thicker, soulful voice that's very, very expressive and much deeper. You're not going to find a singer who can do both of those extremely well as either of them does, and has that unique quality or character. So each of them was the best singer for the song we wrote. Now, if we got a live singer to sing those songs live, maybe we could find a live singer who can sing both of them, but for people who've never heard of us before, they're going to see that singer and think, oh, that's the lead singer of Earthside. If I get their album, he's going to be the singer on the album. But then they get the album and be like, who the fuck are these guys? So it's confusing. So we feel like the most honest way we can showcase how we did things on the album is to show the singers that are on the album, so if they get the CD, they're like, oh, that's the song with Lejean, that's the song with Bjorn, that's the song with Dan, that's the song with Eric, and so on and so forth. Also, we need the video to show the orchestra anyway, so... And that is my rambling, long-winded answer. Awesome.